You know the vibes. www.daymcomic.com, DAYMCOMIC.com. Click the link below. Order your comic books right now. They're dropping in a few months. Don't be without one.
What's going on, everybody? Antonio here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me. Let's get into it. All right, let's rejoice, Babylon 5 fans. The news is out there. J. Michael Straczynski put it out himself on his social medias. He is, in fact, bringing Babylon 5 back. And he's actually going to be involved with the show. He didn't just pawn it off to some people or whatever, or do the whole I'm a consultant thing or whatever. He's actually working on the show. He's going to be executive producer. He actually wrote most of the episodes of Babylon 5. There were other writers on the show, but he actually wrote most of the episodes of Babylon 5 were written by J. Michael Straczynski. There's only like a handful of episodes every season that he didn't write, and even those episodes that he didn't write, they were taking his plot points, and he was, he's only one guy, he can only do so much, but there's a pretty long post on his Facebook, and he was talking about how excited he was to do this. It's going to be on the CW. He sounds like he's got pretty much carte blanche to do whatever he wants. He said the people at the CW trust him, and they are just being amazing and just letting him do whatever he wants, which from a fan's perspective, that's awesome. We know they're going to have like quadruple the budget they had on Babylon 5 just for inflation. But the reason I say that, when Babylon 5 came out, about 30 years ago, when that show first aired, it was going up against another show, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which there was a small lawsuit, because J. Michael Straczynski had apparently went to Paramount about a year or so before Deep Space Nine premiered, and he had pitched Babylon 5 to them. They passed, and then like about a year and a half or so later, we got Deep Space Nine, and it took so many elements of what he had. He still had the Bible. I remember I saw an interview with him, and he said he still had his pitch Bible that he went into Paramount with and had all his notes about all the breakdown. And he said he actually left it there with them, and it sounded like they used it. There was a settlement. I know Paramount settled, but they were like, we settled, but we're not admitting that any wrongdoing was done. But it's pretty clear when, in particular, when you look at the character of Jeffrey Sinclair, who's played by Michael O'Hare. Jeffrey Sinclair's character ended up being the prophet of the Minbari people. He ended up being this legendary person that was highly revered throughout Minbari culture. And of course, you had Commander Sisko, who's played by Avery Brooks, who is, of course, the prophet of the Bajoran people. And, so there was a lot of stuff that was in Deep Space Nine that was very similar to what got pitched and what ended up on Babylon 5. But J. Michael Straczynski did mention a few things about this new version of Babylon 5 that's going to be on the CW. They're going to use Captain Sheridan. Sheridan's going to be the main focus. Obviously, it's not going to be Bruce Boxleitner. They're completely rebooting everything. That's one thing I saw. He said it's going to be a reboot with some similarities. Like you're gonna see a few characters that you had already met on the original Babylon 5, but it's not a continuation. It's going to be something new, and I think starting with Sheridan instead of Sinclair, I think that is the point of that, because he said he don't want to tell the same story. I think this is probably the best of both worlds, because I know when I've talked to Babylon 5 fans, of which I am very proud to be one, there's been two thoughts, because they did like a HD version of Babylon 5 of the original shows, and they put them up on HBO Max, which you can catch all those episodes on HBO Max. Now, I'd like to see some of the side shows They did a couple of mini series, and then there was that show Crusade that I actually thought was really good. I'd like to see Crusade end up on HBO Max as well. But some Babylon 5 fans were like, they should do like what they did with the Star Trek original series, because those computer effects do kind of look a bit outdated, even if you high def it up and everything. What I've seen people propose is to take Babylon 5, the original series, and actually update the computer effects and make it, spend a couple million and make it look really nice, which I thought, like, the storytelling's on point. So that's not to be disputed, but boy, if they could just really like update those graphics and make the special effects look, better, or not so out. It looks like almost like Atari 2600, or maybe Atari 7800 or whatever, the updated Atari, because it's like the graphics, like that's one thing I noticed when I was going back and watching Babylon 5 on HBO Max, and I went through it. I watched from episode 1. I watched the whole series again. I was so excited. I got through the entire thing a couple weeks ago. It was just fantastic. But yeah, it would be nice to see them clean those graphics up and the special effects and make it look a lot better, because that's one thing I've noticed, that the show's still, the storytelling and the plotting is just on point, but those special effects do kind of take you out of it. You'd be like, oh man, this is good. And then it cut to like some crazy, weird computer graphics that just don't look really good in today's setting. I remember when the show first aired, everybody was like, oh, look at these great computer effects. But they were very experimental back then, and they haven't held up over the last like 28 or so years. But now we know with this new, they were only spending about 500, 600,000 at the most on most episodes. They did not have much of a budget on Babylon 5 back in the day, and Deep Space Nine was costing around 800,000 to up to $1 million, 1.2 million an episode, especially in the latter seasons. But like in those early seasons, we were seeing the Deep Space Nine budget, hovering around that 750 to 800 range, and Babylon 5 was sitting there around 450 to 500,000 an episode. So you can kind of see that it hadn't held up. But the CW, they'll obviously, it'll be on network television, so it'll have a bigger budget. So I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm curious to as to why he decided to go with Sheridan instead of Sinclair. Although he, like I said, on Facebook, he did say that he wants to tell the story, but he doesn't want to tell the same story that he already told. So we may not get Sheridan and him becoming and all this. I don't know, but I'm just excited. I think the fact that Babylon 5 is coming back, the fact that it's coming back with J. Michael Straczynski actually writing it, he mentioned, like I said, a fresh reboot, kind of like Westworld, and he mentioned Battlestar Galactica, where they just take the premise and then they just build on it and everything. So I'm really excited. I'm a big Babylon 5 fan. What do you guys think? Are you excited? Babylon 5 coming back to the CW with J. Michael Straczynski? Get in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'm out. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And please check out my podcast at anchor.fm/Ikari Press, or just type in Ikari Press on your favorite streaming platform today.